Do you want to know who Takamura will fight for his last world title match? I have figured out who the strongest boxer in Hajime no Ippo will fight at heavyweight, and it's someone you won't see coming. Takamura has won the WBC Junior Middleweight title, the Unified WBC and WBA Middleweight titles, and recently the WBC Super Middleweight title. So he's halfway through his personal quest to conquer 6 weight classes. Which classes are left? Light heavyweight, 175 pounds or 79.4 kilograms. Cruiserweight, 200 pounds, 90.7 kilograms. This is the weight Takamura walks around at. Here, he won't need to cut any weight anymore. This is the most dangerous version of Takamura. And lastly, heavyweight, unlimited. Any fighter over 200 pounds is classified as heavyweight. So you could technically be a literal bear weighing 450 pounds and still be allowed to fight. Because the weight is unlimited, the heavyweight division has been the most exciting weight class in history. So the cubs of the bear Takamura defeated might actually come back for revenge and fight him for the heavyweight belt. Nah, but for real, before we can come to a proper conclusion, we have to look at the boxers Takamura has been compared to. First, Roberto Duran. Takamura is confirmed to be based on the legendary Hands of Stone. Duran was one of the 4 kings who ignited the boxing scene in the 80s. The 4 kings consisted of Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, and Roberto Duran. These are 4 of the most legendary boxers of all time, and they all fought each other. So since Takamura is based on Duran, we can assume that some of his opponents are inspired by the 4 kings. Have we already seen an opponent that resembled them? I'm glad you're asking. Richard Bison is directly based on Thomas Hearns, not just in style, but also in nickname. Thomas Hearns was called the Motor City Cobra because he's from Detroit. Bison is also from Detroit and thus is called the Motor City Bison. Add to this the fact that Takamura's boxing was directly compared to Marvin Hagler's when Imura first saw him in chapter 233. But not all of Takamura's opponents are based on the 4 kings. David Eagle is inspired by Oscar de la Hoya. Both have golden in their names and both are Olympic gold medalists. That's why the 4 kings pattern doesn't always fit, as much as I wanted to. It's generally known that Hawk is based on Prince Nassim, who was in a much lighter weight class. So this association just refers to the style and arrogant ring behavior in general. But let me add another variable. Starting with Brian Hawk, every single one of Takamura's opponents has had a last name referencing an animal. Keith Dragon, being a mythical animal, extended that circle a little bit. So now we can assume that there might be animals like griffins, for example. Takamura versus Griffith incoming? Although that's a possibility, I have another option that's been in my head for a long time now. Vladimir Wolf, or Vitaly Werewolf. I got the inspiration for that name from Dimitri Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion of the world. His last name sounds somewhat like Wolf, and he's even in one of the divisions remaining for Takamura. But the Wolf is already taken, right? We already have Volk Zangief. I know, dear commenter. That's why I have another one for you. I was joking before, but now I'm serious. Bogdan Bear. Not only does Bogdan sound heavy and strong, but the bear is also one of the strongest land animals. Takamura got his legendary scars from that very animal, and he got them before his world title quest started. So he went into it with the memory the bear gave him. It would be wild in the most literal sense if Takamura's last opponent was based on his strongest opponent ever, the mama bear. Imagine if he fights and beats the second bear and gets another permanent scar, a second scar from a bear. That would be the cherry on top. Put in the comments who you think he'll fight in his next 3 matches. Is my theory unbeatable? Do you have a better one? Let me know. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.